Hey, it's the Rooster, Bobby Leach for the TimesWeekly.com, coming alongside my partner here, Big Bag Tone, the week of football.
Yes, I am, Big Toe, and I just want to say hi to everybody out there. This is the start of football season. Predictions, more predictions. What are we going to talk about today, Rooster?
Softball.
Softball. Okay, we missed the football season. I sleep through it?
Yeah, we missed it. Hopefully it's not going to be a yarner, catching some bad football games this year. Hopefully we're going to see a lot of great football games, and I think we're going to. I think there's a lot of great stuff out there, and especially in our area teams. Mm-hmm. Year in and year out, we've got great football teams, and we've always got a shot at making a couple, 2, 3, 4 teams making it downstate. I'd like to see that be the case this year. Maybe some different characters, though, downstate, some different teams you haven't seen get downstate. So, I mean, this is going to be an interesting football season. I mean, we got a chance. I got to start off with Bolingbrook High School, and speaking of Bolingbrook, you see.
No Aaron Bailey.
I lived up to my word, Aaron Bailey. I lived up to my word. Okay.
Yeah, no Aaron Bailey sightings out there in the Bolingbrook field, I believe.
So I'm wearing my Aaron Bailey, University of Illinois.
At least Aaron Bailey can do is pay for his letters on the back, at least name or whatever.
I don't think he can do that. I think NCAA prevents that from happening.
Hey, if they let Johnny Manziel sign elements, why not, right?
Yeah. So, but hey, listen. I mean, fantastic. Bolingbrook really looks good. I mean, it's easy when you look good in a practice against yourselves, but I think they look pretty good, so I don't know. I mean, Aaron Bailey, I love you, man. I love his, his game and all that good stuff, but Quincy Woods looks pretty good out there. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think they got, they've got a pretty good chance. I mean, they're returning 16 starters from last season's team, so, I mean, you think, you only got six players that you got to fill in your starting positions. That's not too bad, but you're filling some big shoes. But Quincy Woods, he got some playing time last year. It was all good. So I don't know. I guess we had a chance to talk to Coach Ivo, and
well, what did Coach Ivo have to say?
Genius. It was all genius.
There you go. Let's hear it.
It's all genius. So here's what he had to say about his team this year. And oh, by the way, they got a new team in their conference, Stag. But don't worry, they've been a doormat in their other conference too. I mean, Stag. No offense to Stag, the players at Stag, because I don't know you, and maybe I'm going to know you by the end of the year. In fact, we will know them by the end of the year. We're going to see them play. But they don't come with a great pedigree, so I don't think you're looking at a powerhouse coming here and knocking off Bolingbrook, HF, Lincoln Way East. Some of them, Lockport. I mean, they're,
Yeah, never know until the game's played.
But hey, here's what Coach Ivo had to say to me during his live scrimmage last week, or after his practice last Friday night, getting prepared to go on the road against Hinsdale Central. Here's what he had to say. Check it out. Looking at your schedule, looking at the conference hasn't gotten any weaker. I mean, you've got Sandburg, who looks pretty good this year, and they did well last year at 8-1. By the end of the year, you got again. Defending runner-up in Lincoln Way East, and even though they're, Fusel's gone, they've got a replacement for him that just stepped right in, and nothing's really changed a whole lot there. So, but you've got some stiff competition. HF looks real good this year, so you're in a tough conference. How important is it for
Joliet West?
And Joliet West, and Joliet Central, and then you got the newcomer in Stag.
Right, exactly.
So,
Coach Fahey, Coach Fahey's no stranger. He was the defensive coordinator at Stag when we played them years ago. We had many good battles with them. So, I know he runs a tough defense. Coach Aubrey down at Joliet West, they're knocking on the door. They're just, they're a victim of the conference right now. But regardless, I think it's a playoff team year in and year out he's got down there. Joliet Central, they made a lot of improvement from 2 years ago to last year. Mm-hmm. And, with Coach down there, I think he's going to just keep Coach Boyder. He's going to keep improving and doing what he can with the numbers he's given. Let's face it. He's taking the field with 35 guys and trying to compete with squads of 80. And he's doing a hell of a job. And, again, it just doesn't get weak. Lockport, I know they're not happy with their season last year.
Right.
And that's a sleeping giant there.
Well, last year, too, you got your, week one, and we'll talk a little bit about week two, because it's right here. It's, the Romeoville Bolingbrook thing. And last year, got a little chippy there in the first half. The two teams played a lot tighter than I think most sports writers would have thought. Certainly the way I predicted it was going to go. But how important was that lesson for some of the real young players, that come out there and say, hey, it doesn't matter where you think or what level you think the next team that you're playing is. you still got to come out and play whistle to whistle.
Well, again, if we don't say that every week and to preach that every week, we're not doing our job as coaches. To be honest with you, our focus has been Hinsdale Central, and we've been practicing against them and their stuff from what we've seen of them all summer.
If you beat Hinsdale Central, there's a good, the numbers say that there's a pretty good possibility you're going to run for a while before you reach a real battle. And I'm sure you're going to disagree that every good coach.
Our goal is always to get our 5.
But you're going to, you've got to. You've got a weaker schedule in the front half of this season. If you get past Hinsdale Central, it's likely that you're going to get to those last 3 games of the season, and all of them are pretty monster games.
We can clinch the playoffs before we get into those monster games, and that doesn't matter.
Yeah. But as a coach, do you look at that and say, hey, my schedule will afford me, especially if I get up on teams, not to have to play Quincy Woods the whole game, not to have to play and be able to play some
where you want to go, you got to play everybody. It doesn't matter if
Sure.
we're the 32 seed or the 2 seed, so it doesn't matter. Just getting in is the key anymore. There's a lot of 5 and 4 teams that don't make it every year. So, and that's the thing. And I think that's the one thing that Joliet West has to be careful of this year. Yeah, on paper, I think they can get in the playoffs.
Sure.
But they got to worry about points. Romeoville has fallen victim to that, I think, in the past. I think they had a 5
a couple years ago, yeah.
And didn't get in because of points. So that's just something you always got to be aware of. And because of that, you look at your strength of schedule. Like you said, we play a Hinsdale Central. We're getting points now.
Right.
Okay? So that's one thing.
And you're going on the road at Hinsdale Central. So, that's always do you like road games to start the season as opposed to home games?
Road games, period.
Yeah, it just kind of takes away all the hoopla and you can focus on the football, right?
Exactly, because anything that's here is a distraction. Every coach hates homecoming, I think. So just get out there. We go dressed everywhere we go. We don't want to use your locker rooms, things of that nature. We usually take our kids to a park in the area. We'll pull up the maps of the surrounding area and take them to park, get them away from everything, and just show up there and get off the bus and go play.
Say that. Bolingbrook, Coach. Coach Ivo's always reserved. He's a little bit reserved. I asked him that real tough question, though. Hey, you're playing Hinsdale Central. That's a tough game. That's a tough game one. Then you play Romeoville, and I'm not going to say Romeoville is that far below them, but Romeoville, on paper, clearly Bolingbrook has got the advantage. And then after that, you got to look at their whole season, and you're going to go 6 games before you even play anybody. Beyond Hinsdale Central.
Yeah.
That's not discounting all the other teams that they're going to play. It's just saying that the toughest part of their schedule, they got Sandburg, they got Lincoln Way East, and they got HF at the end of the season. All 3 games in a row.
Yeah.
And those are the 3. Those, to me, right now, those are the ones you got to knock off. Sandburg last year went 8-0 before they lost their first game, right? And then you got Lincoln Way East, who was the 7A runner-up last year, and then you got Homewood Flossmoor, who has been improving every year. Great coaching staff, and then you got Bolingbrook. So those teams, the conference, I think the blue is going to be decided in the last 3 weeks of the season. I don't think you're going to see what's going on. But Bolingbrook automatically is going to make it in the playoffs if they run the table. And that's like I said, I think that Bolingbrook has got a pretty good shot at beating Hinsdale Central. I think it's going to be a close game, or not as close, but I think it's going to be a tough game for them. But especially on the road, but I think they got a shot to win. So another kid that had a shot was this Tuck Borland, man. Kid's a sophomore. A sophomore and a linebacker for the Brook. And I was surprised last year as a freshman. Let's be honest, man. A freshman starting at varsity. That's pretty impressive, dude. But there's a reason why. Kid's a leader. Kid's very good. Comes from a football pedigree, football background. So anyhow, here's what Tuff had to say about his chances this season. So last time we talked, around this time last year, it was kind of a first year kind of thing. Now you got the experience behind you, and you went through that season of varsity, and it didn't scare you off, didn't spook you, because I see you're still on the football field, so that didn't change anything. But talk a little bit about this team this year. There was disappointing last year. You lost your quarterback in Bailey, but Woods came in, did a good job for you, and he's looking pretty good now. Is there some confidence going into this season with this team?
Yeah, there's definitely some confidence going into the year. We got a lot of return starters on defense, so defense is looking good. And we have Quincy, like you said. Quincy played well last year when Bailey was out. And we got Jaden, and we got a couple of return starters on offense. So we're looking forward to this season and everything to come.
So hey, man, even the underclassmen, they're excited about the season ahead. You know, I mean, he got a lot of game experience last year, as did a lot of the other players that are there. But I mean, he's excited. So Bolingbrook on the road, want to start the season off right by talking about Bolingbrook first.
Just looking at you with your cheap seats hat on, with your Aaron Bailey jersey.
Like cheap seats hat, yeah. Cheap
I mean, you
seats
just
hat.
got roosted so people know your name, man. You are a carnival hat. You were P.T. Barnum, man. I'm the rooster. Here I come.
Well, who bought this hat for me?
I did.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. There you
Hey,
go.
we went to Navy Pier. We saw the tall ships, and the guy was selling them. I go, man. He goes, "You can have brown cheap seats with the rooster. I got one for the big toe." And, hey, it was nice.
So I'll put my glasses on for this one because I'm turning it off a little bit slow. But let's talk about the season this year. Let's talk about Game 1. This is where you're going Friday night.
Game 1.
Big Tone, you're going to be out at Providence in JCA. JCA playing at home at Memorial Stadium this Friday night, 7 o'clock.
Tone's going to JCA. And Tone, a big JCA detractors, going into the Lions Den watching Providence and JCA play. Okay, now I'm going to be with my young son, so please don't throw anything at me, please.
Hey, so who do you think's gonna come out of that game ahead? I mean,
I tell you, Dominic Legrone, is that his name?
Yeah.
Dominic Legrone, quarterback. You got your starting backfield coming back for Providence. Defense is still special. I mean, JCA, who do you got? You know, maybe it's good that JCA is quiet this year. They don't know who they got. You know, they got Mike Ivlo in the backfield.
Right.
Who's their quarterback?
Right. Hey, listen, I mean, we're going to find out who all these players are because we're going to get a chance to really take a look and see them play in the game. Because right now, you're just a number.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's a good thing. I think that's a good thing for any high school football team is that you're just a number until you prove yourself out of the football field and win the football game.
Get your identity. You know?
But I got to tell you, I've been a JCA supporter for years, but I'm going to tell you right now, I don't know, dude. Providence to me right now is the favorite going into this game. I think Providence has got their act together. Mm-hmm. I just think that Providence is going to take it to JCA. I hate to say it to the JCA fans, and love to say it to you Celtic fans. Providence won last year on their home field, and I think they're going to do it again this time on the road. So I think Providence is going to start off with a victory against JCA. And that's a big deal for Providence. I think it's whoever wins this game. It's not just the first game of the season and start momentum, but it's who you're playing. I mean, you're playing two rivals, two powerhouse football teams, and so I don't know. I mean, what do you think? What are you picking the score to be? Because I'll tell you what I picked the score to be.
Picking the score to be, I think it's going to be close because JCA they play tough on their own field. I mean, I've been there. I didn't go there last year. You went to the game last year, but I went there the year before when they played at home in Memorial Stadium, and the crowds. I mean, the crowds were unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, parking was pathetic. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Parking was pathetic. I had to walk 9,000 miles just to get to the stadium. Anyway, I think this game is going to be close because JCA, if anything, they still have their pride. Okay.
So what do you think? What are you going to call it? Quick. He's trying to soften the blow.
I'm gonna say.
What's the score?
I'm going to say.
Fuck up.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to say. Providence 31, JCA 24. It's going to be close. It's not going to be a blowout. It might go either way, but I'm sticking to that score right there. Might go either way. Providence. Providence. I mean, they're ranked. Ranked team, better defense. They have their starting back. They have their quarterback, Miles Boykin.
Miles Boykin is going to be the difference in that game. I mean, and Legrone is moving actually to. I don't know how the quarterback's going to do this year because Legrone they're actually moving back to a running back position, which is where he belongs. But now he's a running back that can throw the ball too. So trick plays, that kind of stuff. I think it's going to be a little bit bigger than that. I think the score's going to be 31-15. Mm-hmm. So I don't think JCA. I think it's going to be at least a 2-score spread there. So I guess we'll wait and see how it goes. And then we got Lincoln Way West. Lincoln Way West is inviting Sycamore to their field. And Lincoln Way West, I got them ranked as the number 2 area team, and I'll tell you why. I'm sure that there are many people out there that think that, hey, where are you getting Lincoln Way West? Well, one, they got a lot of Division I talent and a lot of bona fide Division I talent on that football field. 2, these guys make the playoffs every year, and when they get to the playoffs, they make some waves. I mean, last year they beat Canelan, a 1 seed. They beat Canelan at home, and when I tell you that they beat them up. They beat them up. By halftime it was over. It was 21-0 at the half. So I like Lincoln Way West. I think the Warriors are this is the year that I think they're going to demand more of themselves. They lost last year to Joliet Catholic, last play of the game kind of thing, and I mean, it was unfortunate for them, but I think Lincoln Way West is going to take Sycamore, and if you don't know where Sycamore is, it's way up north, way like that way by DeKalb, by the I don't know where. That way.
I have no clue where Sycamore is.
It's closer to upstate where we're going to be going this year for the state championship.
I know nothing about Sycamore, and I don't know where it is. So
okay, well they have a pumpkin festival there. I know that much because I've been through the town. Yeah, they actually have a little town square and everything. Yeah,
oh, cool.
Yeah. I've been to your town in Sycamore in case you're listening, but you're still going to get whomped. So I think that these guys laid a hammer down. My prediction was 40-7. So I don't think the game's even going to be close. I think this game's going to be over by halftime. I think you'll see a running clock by the third quarter. That's how I see it, Coach. What do you think?
Always been a big Lincoln Way West fan since day one, since I started here at the Sports Nest. Same score.
5 years.
5 years, yeah. Always been a big Lincoln Way West fan.
Yeah.
So.
All right, then we'll move on. Bolingbrook. Bolingbrook is traveling to Hinsdale Central on Friday night. Hinsdale Central, a perennial playoff team, a really tough program. I don't know. I mean, for me, let me tell you, I think that this group, this Bolingbrook Raiders group, is as good or better than the state championship team is. Not, minus Sarah Bailey on top of it. They've got the same kind of swagger. They've got some depth. They're really quick to the ball. They're extremely confident. Their offense averaged 40 points a game last year with Quincy Woods in the game. So I don't think you're going to see a juggernaut be shut down by one football team. I do give Hinsdale Central some credit here, but I'm calling the game 35-21. Bolingbrook takes Hinsdale Central and sets their path and their course onto a 6-0 season until they get to week 7. What do you think?
I think you're, well, I'm not going to say you're wrong. I'm just going to say you're wrong. I think Hinsdale Central is going to take Bolingbrook to game 1. Hinsdale Central, top 10 team, and by the was it the Sun-Times or Tribune? Who knows? Top 10 team. They're ranked. So is Bolingbrook. It's going to be close.
Listen.
Going to be close.
Preseason rankings, unless it came from me or you, they don't count.
It's going to be close. I've been doing a little bit of homer, but if they're playing on their own field, I think it's going to be 35-31 Hinsdale Central. Okay.
Here's a game that we'll be covering on Friday night. We'll have Andy Binder out there.
Andy Binder.
Andy's going to be covering Plainfield South at Lamont. And you think to yourself, Plainfield South? I mean, we all know Lamont. Lamont, hands down, great football program. Mm-hmm. Year in and year out, they get it done. And, it just seems like every time you think that they're going to come back next year and have to rebuild, they don't have to really rebuild. But I will say, though, that I think it's suspect a little bit. I mean, their conference, I don't give Lamont the respect I probably should give them early in the season because I just don't think that their conference is all that tough. I do think Oak Forest is tough. I think they've got some teams in their conference that make it tough, but I think Lamont has an easier road, and they look really tough going into the playoffs. A lot of times they're undefeated or they got one loss heading into the playoffs, and they'll make it to the semifinals, and then they'll fold their tents, and that's been the case. That's been true in the last few years. Yeah. But I'm going to tell you something about Plainfield South. Plainfield South, I'm sure that everyone is picking Lamont in this game. I got to believe I'm not, and I'll tell you why. Clifton Garrett, that defense. Cody Voda at quarterback, and Cody Voda is let me tell you, they got some athletes, and they got a defense that's just flat out nasty. And if Lamont likes to run the ball a lot. They don't really throw the ball a ton. Mm-hmm. I mean, they do throw the ball, but they like to run the ball. They're a running football team. You run against this team, and you're going to be running into a brick wall. Clifton Garrett is going to have a career day against Lamont. I think it's going to be a battle. I don't think Lamont's going to just fold up their pup tents, especially at home in game 1. I mean, if you're not prepared for the start of the football season, not fired up for that, I don't know what you are. So you're going to go into a hostile environment. But like I said, you're going to run into a brick wall here. I like Plainfield South's chances here. I really, really do. I think that their offense has matured a little bit. Their defense is much, 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 much improved. This is a great football team, folks. This isn't just the run-of-the-mill football team. I think Plainfield South could be just a fantastic team, and definitely, I'm looking at them as a playoff team. I'm going to call Plainfield South. Cougars are going to win this game on the road in the Indian Stadium. I'm going to pick it 20-14, about a 6-point advantage. I think that's what it's going to come down to is maybe an extra point. Could be closer than that. Could be a 1-point game, but it's going to be a tight football game. I still say that in a tight football game, I'm going to take defense over offense, and if that's the case, I'm taking Plainfield South.
I made it different.
It makes it different. Okay.
Lamont, they rarely lose at home.
Yeah.
Number one.
Go ahead.
Rarely lose.
Go ahead.
Number two, their defense, special defense. Every year, like you say, teams that are good, they retool. They don't lose a step. They don't go a step backwards. They go a step forward. They retool their defense. Defense just been just as stellar, just as good every year. Their running game. Hey, I saw teams last year that ran between the tackles and ran the ball, and they ran the ball effectively. And they do it every year. They run the ball effectively. So I like 21-23.
All right, well, 21-23. So 2-point game. 2-point game. So he's just flipping the coin here. It's all mine, by the way. But like I said, look out for the Cougars this year. Now, I was trying to look at where I wanted to go. Because this is the first year I haven't gone and covered that big Catholic League football game at the beginning of the season. I'm letting Big Tone handle that and see all the hoopla. I'm going to cover another big game though. I'm going to head out myself to Morris. I'm going to watch Morris and Minooka, two crosstown rivals. I mean, they're literally miles away from each other. They've been longtime rivals, and I'll tell you what, man, you people in Morris, you got my attention. I mean, it started with Big Tone kissing your butt all year, but but I got to tell you, I love Morris. I love the town Morris. I love the football town that they become.
That gives you an excuse to go to Seneca after the game, right?
Yeah. Right. But we won't get into that. But the fact is, and I got to come back here after the game anyhow. I got to come back to the nest. We got to do all the editing, so that ain't going to happen. But I will say that, in Minooka, Minooka was hot and cold last year. They couldn't be consistent if their life depended on it last season. There were points of last year where Minooka looked like unbeatable, unstoppable, clearly the powerhouse. And then there were points where you just looked at the game film and you thought you were confused. I was as confused watching them as they were probably playing the game. It just didn't seem like it was all coming together for that was first-year head coach Paul Forsyth. I think he's going to have a better season this year. I do. I think, after the first season jitters are out of the way, he took his lumps last year as a coach and as a program. I think that they've learned from that, and that's look, experience even as a coach. Mm-hmm. Even if you take over a winning program, coaches can have an impact on that one way or the other. They're trying to change things. So I don't know. I like Paul Forsyth. I like the Indians. I like their chances this year. That's why I have them ranked as high as I do. But I don't like their chances in week one. I'm taking Morris in this one, 27-14.
Yeah, I agree. Morris went to the game last year, and I'll tell you what, Morris's offensive line, their running backs, big.
Yeah, but it's a different team this year.
Their linebackers, big.
Yeah.
They beat that Minooka quarterback 6 ways from Sunday. Okay? And if I had a Tony's Tough Guy Award last year, the Minooka quarterback would have been week 1 winner. They beat him up 6 ways from Sunday. It was unbelievable. I saw their defense. They're a team that'll run right between the tackles and say, hey, look, this is what we're doing. Stop us. Okay?
Yeah.
They made it all the way down to state finals. They lost to a better team in Montini. I like Morris, too.
Yeah, I like Morris, and they're playing at home. So I got news for you, Minooka. I like Minooka, too. It's not like I'm not saying Minooka's not a good football team, because they're a damn good football team. They're gonna turn a lot of heads this year, and they're probably going to make the playoffs. But that said, they're not going to win week 1. And if they do week one, I'll eat my hat. I just don't think it's going to happen. And the cheap seats hat I just got, it ought to be pretty tasty if I have to eat it. Now let's move on. Moving on, we got Plainfield North next. Plainfield North is taking on Westinghouse. I mean, what?
Is that a basketball? Is they playing basketball?
Yeah, they're not playing basketball. This is football.
Oh.
But Plainfield's inviting Chicago Westinghouse to Plainfield. I'm just going to call it like it is here, 27-6.
They got nobody else to call in Westinghouse?
Yeah, I'm going to call it 27-6. Plainfield North is going to win here in a wash. This game, I don't think helps Plainfield North with playoff points. And I think in the tough SBC, that Southwest Prairie Conference, you need playoff points. I think this is a detriment long-term to the program unless they get their 6 wins. Get your 6 wins, and hey, it's all for naught. But if you're at 5 wins and you're playing Westinghouse, one of your non-conference games, I don't know, man. I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But what do you think, Coach?
Enough said. If it was a basketball game, I would call Westinghouse, but they're not playing basketball, they're playing football.
Okay, another favorite team that we got here, Joliet West. Now, we're not going to see Joliet West in week 1, but I'll tell you who is going to see Joliet West week 1, that's Thornridge, Dalton. And if ever two teams were matched evenly, I think that these two teams are. They got speed, they got size. They're very similar, these two teams. But what the one that's where the similarity stops, right? Because the one thing that they got going for them, they got the Rooster and Big Tone rooting for West. I mean, we're actually rooting for you guys. So
Jason Aubrey.
Yeah, Jason Aubrey, Coach. This is the year. Every year I say this is going to be the year. I'm like a Cub fan, man. With you guys, I'm sorry, I can't help it. But I like West. Listen. It's just flat out cool that they got one of the best uniforms in the state. Mm-hmm. They're always talented. They got tons of talent. They got a great football field. They get to play on Saturdays, and that's really cool, especially for us because, Friday nights we only got so many bodies to get around the game, so it's nice to be able to pick up 1 or 2 games on a Saturday. So I always enjoy getting up after a Friday night and getting out and going and seeing West play. But here, I think it's going to be a not so close game. I think that this could be something along the lines of 19-6, but I'm going to call it 19-13 to be safe. And West is going to pull this one out. And I think that if they do score, if Thornridge scores, it's going to be late in the fourth quarter. It'll be an insignificant touchdown. I think it's going to be a 2-score football game, but I'm going to call it 19-13 in this case.
Same, West. Same.
I think you guys are going to have to work on your extra points. That's where
mistakes. Cut down on your mistakes. You'll be fine.
And hold on to the football inside the 5-yard line.
That's right. Cut down. And plus, cut down on your mistakes.
Gotta go. Romeoville is going to be playing, hosting Hinsdale South. This is a must-win game for Romeo. If you want to make the playoffs, it's a must-win football game. It has been the case for the last 4 years, and it's the reason why a few years ago when they went 5-4 and didn't make the playoffs, it's because they lost to Hinsdale South, and they should have won that game. They should have, could have, would have won that football game. They make the playoffs. This is a pivotal game, and I just don't know. Everyone says, hey, man, we got a shot every week. We only need 6 games. Okay, it's only 1 loss. I don't think you can say that if you're Romeoville. I think you have to come out and you have to win this football game, and you're going to have to do it by overpowering them. I like Romeoville this year. They got some really big size up front, Sims out that tackle and this new tight end that they got. Their right side of their offensive line is huge. Just huge. They got 2 backs, Miguel Ford and Gil Whitaker. I like them. Calvin Jones, quarterback. He reminds me of Dante Culpepper. He's not heavy. He's stocky. And he's got a good arm. I like their offense. Their offense has never really been a case with Romeoville. Romeoville's offense has been pretty good under Kuna. It's been their defense. But this year, I think the defense is going to step up too. So I don't know. I like Romeoville in this game. I'm calling this game. Romeoville's playing at home. They're due for a win. They haven't beaten this team in 4 straight tries. In week 1, I think they're going to win and win pretty big here, 19-7.
I like Romeoville too, but it's kind of like a pick'em game. Hinsdale South, they're no pushover. Defensively, no pushover. Offensively, they have what do they call that? That veer offense, whatever. Yeah. I'm not sure what they call it. I'm just a dock worker, okay? But what I saw of Hinsdale South last year when they played Downer South, still like Romeoville. Don't get me wrong. Romeoville's going to win, but they're not going to win, big.
Plainfield Central next week. We're not actually going to see this game. Plainfield Central's on the road. Wildcats are going to Marmion Academy. I don't know. I think this is going to be a tough one for them. They're on the road. Marmion's not a pushover either. And real quickly, I think Wildcats are going to drop this game 27-20. They can be a 1-score game. If they win, it'll be a 1-score game. It's going to be a close game either way. But because I'm giving the advantage, this is a pick-em game, toss it in, coin in the air kind of thing. And I think just because the Wildcats are on the road, I think they're going to struggle here, and they'll come up short. They'll give them a good game, but they'll come up short.
I'm going Plainfield Central. Never bet against Coach John Jackson, okay? Never bet against Coach Jackson. I don't care if you're playing Tuscaloosa Academy, okay? Plainfield Central's got to win.
All right, man. So Plainfield Central's got the win. So there you go. Plainfield East. East puts up a fight at home against Mateo Valley Friday night.
That's a tough game.
That's a tough game, man. And East, East is one of those teams too where I love the team. I absolutely love East. I got one of their football helmets here up on the.
They got another romp in the backfield, don't they?
Yeah. I like them, but I don't know, dude. What do you think?
Oh boy, Mateo Valley. That's a tough game. I don't even know if that's a pick'em game, but they know they have another round in the linebacker core, running back. I mean, so who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess we're going to have to wait and see here. I don't know what.
Hate to pick against teams that we cover. We don't cover Mateo Valley, do we?
No, we don't cover Mateo Valley, but Mateo Valley in this case is a better football team.
Yeah, you're right.
I got to tell you, I think Mateo Valley here is going to come away. Or I'm sorry, Marmion. Why do you say Mateo Valley? Marmion.
Who said Mateo?
You did, and then you got me to say it. You started saying it, then I started saying it.
Marmion. After Marmion for
Yeah,
Plainfield
right,
Central? Who's
right, there you
Plainfield
go.
Central playing?
Who's on first here? Who's on first?
Is it Marmion playing?
No, Mateo Valley is playing Plainfield East. Marmion is playing Plainfield Central.
Okay, we're talking about Plainfield East, right?
You're right.
Well, so
You
it's
said
Mateo.
Plainfield
So it's
Central.
Mateo Valley.
But you said Plainfield Central.
I didn't say Plainfield Central. Roll the tape
Roll the
back.
tape back. All right. Who's going to win a damn game? Who do you think's going to win?
Mateo Valley.
Yeah, I think Mateo Valley wins there too. I'm going to give them a little bit bigger of a spread. I'm going to say 26 to 10. I think maybe you get a field goal out of this. I don't know. It could be worse than that. It could be uglier than that. I think Mateo Valley's going to win this game. pretty
Plainfield
handily.
East, you could shut us up by winning, okay?
They can shut us up. Probably won't happen this week, but you can shut us up. Lockport. Lockport is, boy, for all you Lockport fans out there, this week may be, here's what I'm going to say to all the Lockport fans, because I've listened to a lot of you all summer long. And I've been approached by several of you, and I know that you've been waiting for our cheap seats to kick back off again here. And I thank you for watching us, by the way. I mean, thank you for at least paying attention in the paper and watching us and picking us up. But there's a couple of favorite spots that both of us have there out in Lamont. That when we're out there from time to time, yeah.
In Lockport?
Yeah, or Lockport, So, but I mean, there's some good spots out there, right?
Yeah. Yeah, sandwich place over there by the drugstore.
Anyhow, listen, bottom line is here you're going to have to learn to count to 10. 1 Alabama, 2 Alabama, 3 Alabama, before you let your temper get to you. 4 Alabama, 5 Alabama, 6 Alabama. Because by the time you get to 6 Alabama, it could be 40-0. 7 Alabama, 8 Alabama,
Who they
9
playing?
Alabama.
Who they playing?
They're playing Downers Grove North.
Oh, what's your quarter? Oh, the Edwards
Dude.
one?
And they're bringing back everybody. And last year they were damn good, and this year you can't say they're damn bad. I'm telling you. I mean, this is going to be a bad way for Lockport. I think it's going to be a blowout here. I'm sorry. I'm going to call it like I see it. I think Downers Grove North is just too tough. Their running game, they're going to keep the ball out of the hands of Lockport, so Lockport's not going to be able to crawl back into the game because their defense is going to be on the field the whole game, trying to stop that running attack. And just when you think you got it stopped, Edwards is going to drop back and drop a 40-yard bomb on you and score. Okay, I mean, this is a dynamic football team, Downers Grove North, and I think this is going to be a big win for Downers North. I think it's 35 to. You know what? I can't give anybody a 0. I'm not going to give anybody a goose egg, but I'm going to say 35-7. 35-7. I can't. I mean, it's opening day. I can't give him a goose egg. But
Well, ex high school alumnus Downers North there, Rooster. I mean, of course you're going to go with Downers North. I mean, Mr. Edwards, hey, that's a good quarterback you guys got there. I don't think it's going to be that much of a runaway. I still think your defense, Lockport, is very good. You just guys are in need of some specialty players, on offense. Okay,
yeah, you need some of Tony Stinkerbells.
you got no
Oh, wait.
you got no specialty players. You need them. I mean, but I think it's going to be close. So who knows? But then again, we didn't see you. We did not see you. We don't know how you guys are. Okay, we didn't go over there and see you. But I think it's going to be 28-21. Downers North. It's going to be close.
Oh my God! Here, are you sure you don't need any aspirin?
Yeah,
There we go.
right.
All right. So last one pick'em game here, and last but not least, at least in this case, or at least because they haven't won in a while. Joliet Central going to Rich East on the road. Boy, I don't know, man. What do you think? I think that this is going to be the game because we're not going to it, that they actually win.
I think they're going to win this game.
I think they're good. I think Joliet Central's going to shock a few people.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they win the football game. I don't know. I know I said a 13-12 loss in the paper. I called it 13-12 and a loss. I thought it was going to be a really close game. They're pretty even squads. But I think Joliet Central is going to prove me wrong. I think it's going to be like 13-6. I think their defense is going to hold. They're going to get a fumble. They're going to get a mistake. They're going to take advantage of something, and they're going to win. They're going to get a little bit of momentum, and Rich East is going to go away. And once they get a little bit of momentum, they start feeling good about themselves. Once this team takes victory, it's going to be hard to make them stop competing, you know? So, I don't know. I think Steelman are going to win here by a touchdown. What do you think?
I agree. I mean, they're sophomores. 2 years ago when we covered them, their sophomores are playing on the varsity. Now they're sophomores, they're seniors. They have a good quarterback. They have a big, tall receiver they throw the ball to. And a good defense. I mean, it's going to be close. This is a game where you guys get your first win. I wish I could be there and watch it. You know, big Juliet Steelman supporter, big fan. Wish I could be there watching it.
Yeah, he's a really big fan of the concession stand. Just so you
Oh
know.
yeah, that chicken sandwich by the Boosters. I'll see you in the next. I'll see you week 2.
So that's week 1, and we'll be out there on week 1 to kind of check out, you know, what's going on Friday night. You know, I mean, you know, so.
Hey, my boys in League Away East. Okay. League
What about
Away East.
League Away East?
League Away East. You're going to beat Carmel. Okay. By the way, I don't know why we're not
I
talking
didn't even
about.
think we were going to bring them up.
I never know why
we're
we're not talking about League Away East. The guys haven't been beaten in conference for 2 straight years, and they have a Fusel cousin. They have a Winkler brother at receiver who's pretty good, Division I prospect. They have Tyrell Suggs. I'm not sure if I got the first name, but I know his last name Suggs on the defensive tackle.
But
Big.
they still lost. They still lost the state championship.
So I bought by 2 points. All you needed was a goal. I bet you that field goal kicker's kicking himself in the rear. I mean, going, I just would have made that field goal. I bet. Okay, field goal kicker comes out of counseling. All right, and you guys are going to beat Carmel. Anyway,
I do think they'll beat Carmel. I think League Away East is going to do their thing.
they're being a juggernaut this year.
I don't know. I mean, I honestly I think that you know Montini. I think Montini's going to have a fantastic week 1. There's really nobody out there that has really garnered my attention more than Providence. Maybe it's because I've seen Providence a couple of times and I'm liking what I'm seeing. And of course, I'm going to say Bolingbrook too. I mean, all due respect to Lincoln Way East, and I respect their program, but Bolingbrook's going to be no pushover this year. And let's not forget about Sandburg. Sandburg is the redheaded stepchild here on the Sports Nest. I mean, we have not covered enough of them. We're going to get a lot more of them this year. Can't let that happen again when we miss out on catching a Sandburg game, because Sandburg is it's one of those teams where they're going to sneak up on you, and they're a playoff team. I think that this conference of the Blue, I think you're looking at 4 playoff teams.
Yeah, I agree.
I think the class of the conference, I think JCA is going to struggle this year. I know a lot of the sports writers probably disagree with me. In fact, some of them have voiced their opinion, disagree with me. But I think they're going to struggle this year. I guess we'll all have to wait and see. Who all the studying and all the game film. I mean, I'm not big on nostalgia, meaning that whatever you did last year don't mean crap to me this year. No offense. I mean, winning tradition is always important heading in, and I think it's a good recruiting tool. Kids have a chance to move into a community and do it legally, and their parents say, hey, my kid's in 8th grade, I'm selling my house. I don't want to go to this school, I'm moving. Okay, well, that's legal. They can do that. And I think if you're a great football program, you're going to draw more talent that way. I think just naturally you're going to draw parents that want to get there. So I think that tradition has something to do with it. But the fact of the matter is, if you're sitting on your football field right now thinking, we're going to win the game just because we have the Bolingbrook Raider jersey on, you're sadly mistaken.
We're doing our upset special this week.
No, I got my upset.
Are we getting
But I got to
that?
get my Magic 8 Ball out because I need to figure it out. So,
Oh
so here we go.
oh my
All
God!
right, so let's grab the Magic 8 Ball. The Magic 8 Ball. Okay. I haven't heard from my buddy the Rooster yet either. He hasn't drug out yet. But I mean, my upset special of the week. I don't know. What do you think yours is going to be? I mean,
No, you go first. I'll tell you. I'll tell you.
you think?
All right, you go first.
Okay. Well, I think my upset special of the week this week is likely going to be, who do I want to pick? Who do I want to give like a shot in the arm to that says, hey, they're going to come out on top? And I'll tell you who it's going to be. Plainfield East. I think Plainfield East has got the tools. Maybe they can have a great. Maybe they can have a great game. I just don't know. I didn't get to see Plainfield East a whole lot this summer, and I'm sure that they're sitting back going, thinking, "Hey, we ain't getting no respect here." So, my upset special. See if I'm right.
Like, must need the glasses for that one. Huh?
I need the glasses anymore, man. I can't read it. Let me just tell you what it says. You may rely on it. You may rely on it. Oh, there you go. All right, Bengals. You were the first 8 Ball guest of the week, guest of the year. So
Big Toe, let me talk, Big Toe. Big Toe, let me talk. Let me talk.
yeah, talk.
What do you want, Rooster? What do you need? You know something? I've been sitting here for the last hour listening to all this malarkey by those two bozos. Let me tell you something. I got the upset special. And this, you can bank on it, or I'll lay me another egg.
All right, wait a second. What do you got?
Upset special, Romeoville is gonna beat Hinsdale South. That's gonna be an upset special. I know that big bozo, Big Toe picked against him. He's an Hinsdale South high school alumni. But I'll tell you, Romeoville's gonna win. Joliet Central's gonna win. Joliet
East is
Central
gonna
too.
win.
League East gonna win. Everybody's gonna win. Let me tell you. Okay. Now leave me alone.
All right, go take a shower. Man, I thought we were going to cook that thing this past Thanksgiving. So, hey, man, listen. All kidding aside, football season's back. You're going to see our cameras out there live and in action. We got the Times Weekly backing us up here in the
And
newspaper.
if you see our cameras, pay attention to the game, okay? Don't pay attention to us, all right?
Yeah, we've heard that from a couple of you coaches out there.
Pay attention to the game. We're not here to be detriments or anything or any distractions. We're just there doing our job. Pay attention to the game. You want to interview? Come seek us out after the game, and we'll get you on camera, okay?
And if you want to interview, just do something like,
Yeah, do something special.
Go ahead. So, hey, man, we want to thank you for joining us. Welcome back to the 2013 football season. And it's now, starts today, a march all the way to down, up, down. Where are we going?
And we're looking for Tony Tough Guys nominees. Tony Tough Guys nominees too. Okay.
We're
going up north.
We're going up north, Northern Illinois, right?
Northern, yep.
Yeah. So I guess we're going to Northern Illinois.
Hour, 90
so
away.
we'll see you around Thanksgiving, and I don't know. So and you can sign up for Tony's Tinkerbells.
Tony's Tough Guys, we're looking for you. Do something nasty.
All right, man. We'll catch you out on the football field. Congratulations if you got a jersey. Use it this Friday night. We'll catch you out there. And see us next week right here on Cheap Seats.
Everybody have a great week. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you next week.